Hey Bears fans, Harrison Graham here just moments after the Bears demolished the Jaguars 41-17 to improve to 8-7. Jacksonville falls to 1-14 on the season. Lots to get into with this one, including the playoff implications. As of now, Chicago would be in the playoffs with the number 7 seed in the NFC. Who would have thought that after that loss to Detroit just a couple of weeks ago? But that's where we sit here in Week 16. Before we get going, what is your one-word reaction to the Bears win over the Jags? How about mature? This is a mature win. You play a poor second quarter, you're only up 3 at the half, you come out strong in the second half, take care of business. That's a mature win. You could have farted around for 4 quarters, but the Bears didn't do that. I'm sure Nagy and them got after it at halftime. They regrouped after a poor second quarter, like I said. They got back after it and end up winning this one 41-17. We'll talk about Mitch Trubisky. We'll talk about Allen Robinson. We'll talk about the playoffs, like I said. But all in all, a very, very impressive performance in a game that you just simply could not afford to lose. So good things overall for the Chicago Bears. Use hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. We'll answer as many as we can. What do you think will happen now with Mitch since he had a decent performance? If you missed it, I put a video up on the channel about an hour before kickoff, really more like 30 minutes before kickoff, that ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that there's a decent chance that the Bears could re-sign Trubisky. He's made a case. He's finished strong this year. And that NFL executives around the league believe that Trubisky could return in 2021 if the Bears make the playoffs. Well, after another pretty good performance today, 24-35, 265, 3 total touchdowns. The one pick was bad in the end zone late in the first half. You can't make that mistake. But overall, he's played really good football over the past 5 weeks since being reinserted into the starting lineup. If the Bears make the playoffs, I think it's pretty likely that Mitchell Trubisky will return to Chicago as the starter next season. But I'll let you guys decide. Should the Bears re-sign Mitch Trubisky? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Let me know down in the comments. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. Should Chicago re-sign Mitchell Trubisky? Type Y for yes, or you can type your in for no. Next up is Mike Kelly. Maybe George Kittle could come to the Bears next year. Okay, if you missed this one, obviously the Cardinals did the Bears a favor by losing to the 49ers. I should say the 49ers did the Bears a favor because that's really what happened, which is why the Bears, as of now, would be the number 7 seed in the NFC. And George Kittle, after the game for San Francisco, coming off that win, said, "Hey, I grew up a Bears fan, so it's nice to help them out a little bit as well," even through the Bears in his post-game press conference. Now, I'm not going to connect too many dots and be like, "Oh, the Kittle's coming to the Bears." He loves life in San Francisco. He's not saying that, but he's just acknowledging, "Hey, F you to the Cardinals. I'm helping out my childhood team in the Chicago Bears." It was a funny situation. I don't think it's very likely that the Bears are going to be able to go get a guy like George Kittle, but hey, it would be a lot of fun, and it's definitely something worth pointing out at the end of the day. But again, half the smoke and Jay on that one. I think it's very, very unlikely that that would actually happen. Joe wants to know, do you think Roquan will be an All-Pro? My God, what a performance today from Roquan Smith. How he was not voted to the Pro Bowl is beyond me. 2 interceptions today of Mike Glennon. He was absolutely fantastic for the Chicago Bears. He's been arguably the best linebacker in the NFL this year. 8 more tackles today, 2 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. He's been great. Roquan Smith has been an outstanding football player for this Chicago Bears team this year. And the fact that he was not voted to the Pro Bowl is a disgrace. And I think he's got a shot of being an All-Pro. I absolutely do. He's definitely a worthy candidate. Maybe he's second-team All-Pro, but he has been outstanding for the Bears, especially coming down the stretch later this season. Get going with our sports betting partner, Bet Rivers at chatsports.com/betil or chatsports.com/betin. The reason for the 2 different links is you can sign up and deposit from anywhere, but to actually place a bet, you must be either in the state of Indiana or Illinois. So for you Indiana folks, it's chatsports.com/betin. For you Illinois folks, it's chatsports.com/betil. get going with Bet Rivers today. Make yourself some money. It's a great, great deal. Chatsports.com/BetIL. Chatsports.com/BetIN. Go ahead and get yourself some money today. All right, looking for some more questions here. Monty will hit 1,000 rushing yards this game. Let's see. He had 906 coming in, and he ended up with 95. So, yes, he is over 1,000 yards for the season on the ground. Had a solid game in this one. Was a little slow starting. Had a 26-yard run early, but other than that, it was kind of a slow burn for Montgomery, but he ended up strong. 23 for 95 and a touchdown. Had a carry of 26, like I mentioned as well. So David Montgomery finishing the month of December very strong. 6 touchdowns this month, most by a Bears running back ever, I believe. Very, very productive for David Montgomery here in the month of December, and you need that to continue heading on into Week 17 and obviously heading into the playoffs as well. So hopefully he can continue his hot streak. The Bears offensive line can continue to block, and this could be very, very fun. Maxwell wants to know, wow, this is a leap. Do you think the Bears can make the Super Bowl? Whew, that's quite a leap. I'm not ready to go there yet. Like I said, they are in the playoffs as of now. This is the playoff situation for Chicago. It's as simple as this, and I will break this down for you guys. I'll go full screen and break it down here. 2 ways the Bears make the playoffs. Win in Week 17, Cardinals lose in Week 17. Cardinals play against the Rams. That will not be easy. Bears play against the Packers. That likely won't be easy either, especially if the Packers are playing their starters. So it all comes down to Week 17. But, hey, you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. It is definitely a possibility that you could go on a run. Now, I'm not saying I would predict a Super Bowl run, but would they have an opportunity? Absolutely. You can't rule anything out in the NFL. So what do you guys think? Playoffs are most important. You got to get there first before anything else. Will the Bears make the playoffs? Type 1 for yes. Type 2 for no. Let me know down in the comments section if you believe Chicago will make the postseason. I think they will. I think one of those two things, if not both, will happen. I think the Bears have a good chance to win next week, especially if the Packers aren't playing their starters. And I think the Cardinals could easily lose to the Rams, honestly. So I think there's a decent chance. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. So let's see here. Got a couple more questions here. Cole got this one in before Jimmy Graham got red hot. Should the Bears cut Jimmy Graham? I think you mean after this season, but let's give Jimmy Graham some props for this game. He was outstanding. 2 touchdowns, up to 8 touchdowns on the year. If you told me when you signed Jimmy Graham that you get 8 receiving touchdowns, you'd take it every time. Look, he's not an every down tight end at this point. He can't block anymore, but he's still a really good red zone option. He had a couple of downfield catches as well in this game. 4 catches, 69 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He was great. Now, maybe they restructure or cut him next year. You can cut him for only a $1 million dead cap hit, and that's definitely a possibility. But for the here, for the now, for this 2020 season, Jimmy Graham is a fairly significant piece on this offense, and we saw that come to fruition today. And I think that was very, very obvious as Trubisky and the Bears made it a point to target him throughout this football game. Get subscribed to Chicago Bears now. We're trying to get to 20K as soon as possible. Appreciate everybody who subscribed during our watch party. But if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe. Daily videos on the Chicago Bears all the way through the playoff run into the offseason. Of course, they got to make the playoffs first. But subscribe today so you don't miss any of it. Hit that big red button and subscribe today. I also wanted to talk about this brief storyline before we sign off. The report heading into this game was that Matt Nagy would likely return as the Bears head coach in 2021 with a win over the Jaguars. He got it done, 41-17. The Bears have now won 3 games in a row and are in position to make the playoffs with a win or a Cardinals loss in Week 17. And you got to give Nagy credit. He hands off the play calling to Bill Lazor, becomes more of that manager type of head coach, and this team has been better because of it. So I think he deserves some credit. If this team makes the playoffs, I think he likely will return in 2021, and it's possible he will return regardless in 2021. So I want to know what you guys think, because I know a lot of you guys are split on Nagy, and I certainly understand the reasons. But do you want Matt Nagy back? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Do you want Matt Nagy back as the Bears head coach in 2021? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, the report was that he would likely return with a win over Jacksonville today. With it being a blowout win, it seems like there's a pretty good possibility that he will be back next season as the Bears get it done 41-17 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Appreciate everybody who tuned in for our live watch party. Hey, it all comes down to Week 17 against the Green Bay Packers. Forget Arizona. Just beat the Packers. Take it into your own hands. You beat the Packers next week, and you're in the playoffs. Sure, if the Cardinals lose, you get in as well. But I want to win a 4th-straight game and have that momentum into the playoffs as well. Packers, Bears, next Sunday. We'll see what time that game ends up being. The NFL will probably move their schedule around a bit. But we will be live for a watch party, so just another reason to subscribe to the channel. The Bears get it done. They take care of business, 41-17 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at HGramNFL. We'll keep you guys updated throughout the week leading up to that big Week 17 match.